Okay, welcome back to What's Niggling Me. YouTube, might as well. I've been getting climate change fucking things underneath my videos. I suppose you might as well throw it underneath right away. Now, rumor is this is not me. I didn't make this up. This is just like word on the street. Word on the street for a long time has been that Jews control the weather. Now I know the government controls the weather. Most of my life, Israel's been controlling the Western countries. I'm pretty sure Stephen Harper is the first one in Canada. Held out for a lot longer, Canada did, for being Israel shills. Aiding in genocide. The United States have been doing it for a long time. Britain before that. They help Israel kill all the Palestinians. But they've been the United States has been working on cloud seeding for a long fucking time. You can look it up, it's admitted now. But they've been doing it for a long time, before I was born. They've been manipulating weather. There's even like a treaty. The 48 countries, I think. I wonder if people watch us and they get pissed that I'm coughing all the time. So, I don't remember when. I'm pretty sure 48 countries signed a treaty about not being able to weaponize weather. Look it up. But they could still do weather manipulation. I'm pretty sure it's because, in my opinion, from what I've read, is that the United States wanted to take out the Ho Chi Minh trails in Vietnam and use cloud seeding and manipulated the weather and fucked it up there. I heard this from a Vietnamese person. The United States didn't say anything like that. Apparently the United States thought it's better than carpet bombing them, which they proceeded to do decades later. They did it decades earlier. Where they just slaughtered a ton of German civilians for some reason. Like when the United States slaughtered Japanese civilians instead of going after like bases, they murder civilians. So then later in 2003, they carpet bombed Iraq. It would be like Nancy Grace fucking talking shit about Amanda Knox, and then breaking news, and it would be nighttime, and they'd just be blowing the fuck out of fucking Iraq. And then Iraq, those people were pretty pissed when you just like blow up their families. These people who live in a fucking desert. Again, yesterday, or my last episode, I'm pretty sure, is that I believe in climate change. The climate changing, but there's rich motherfucking people flying private jets every day, spreading more carbon. Their carbon footprint is bigger in a day than mine in a fucking year. But we get carbon taxes here in Canada that are mentally disabled. China's been mowing down the Amazon for resources, for gold shavings. So as long as people are flying private jets and mowing down the Amazon, I don't give a fuck about your climate change fucking activism. Don't care. Don't care. A billion people love Taylor Swift. She flies in a private jet everywhere. I don't care about your climate change problems. When these rich celebrities are making a way worse impact. Bill Gates is flying around on a fucking private jet. Fly commercial if you're so virtuous. Come on. The government and the rich do not lead by example. So, I believe they were cloud seeding for longer than until they admitted that they were putting nanoparticles into the air. Dubai does it. They need rain. We do it too, though. And I believe that you can possibly add to a hurricane or a monsoon. But you're not supposed to weaponize it in the treaty. When has that ever stopped the government and government agencies? I grew up. I'm gonna need some water. I grew up watching BET. I love King's Comedy. I remember Bernie Mac, Theo Hughley, some big motherfucker. Forget what his name was. I was young though. I remember. BT was a shit. I watched movies on BET. It was Channel 50 on cable for me. And watching black entertainment television helped me to realize not to trust the government pretty young. I still don't got a fucking full story on Tupac and Biggie, even though for my whole life I believed it was fucking Diddy, and he's not gonna go down for that. And I'm pretty sure one of his sons are gonna go down for videotaping, taking advantage of fucking boys' butts. No, not boys' butts. I don't. Justin Bieber, so and Usher. So my guess, pretty fucked, but no pun intended. There's just so many things I don't know the whole story on. I'm trying to get the answers. I want the answers. If anybody's got them, put them in the comments. But the Tupac and Biggie one is the least of my worries for now. I'm pretty sure. I'm satisfied with it. I'm pretty sure it's Diddy. And I know he's not gonna have any accountability for that, but he's gonna have accountability finally for his sexcapades. So I knew that they could listen to your phone calls. I watched Martin Luther King movie, and I watched the FBI, whether it was true or not, it seemed like realistic to me. And then I get older and realize, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. That the FBI was tapping phones back then. And so then Edward Snowden comes out years later and says, hey, yeah, the government is surveilling everybody. Everybody. AT&T gets sued. Everybody. They're selling everybody. And then now it's the big worry about, will companies give back doors to the government? That's the big worry. Do you have any privacy? Do we have any privacy? I believe no. I believe no. I know that Jeff Bezos got hacked by Saudi Arabia. there's the Pegasus program and a Pegasus 0.2 or 2.0 probably. Like, I'm pretty sure that there's an upgrade to the Pegasus. They're hacking anything. If they know any number, they can hack you. They know your phone number, you're hacked. Before you need to do it, like, click and accept, basically. A link. And then they had your phone. And that's how Jeff Bezos got caught, and that's why Jeff Bezos is divorced and has that woman who has so much plastic in her, in my opinion. Her face is pretty fucking manufactured. Yeah, and shout out to Glenn Greenwald, because he was the one that helped Edward Snowden release the files that the United States was spying on every single citizen. So we got lies. There's lies, lots of lies, and no full stories. Tupac and Biggie. We got P. Diddy. Again, it's not it's not on my priority list. Like, it's on my priority list, but it's not up there. I'd say my biggest priority list is Anthony Fauci and COVID. Because I believe, and what I've seen, the CIA believes, that it came from the Wuhan lab. That I'm very sure that Anthony Fauci was involved in. Now, I don't believe Anthony Fauci does any hands-on stuff. None. Nope. I don't believe he's in the lab at all. None. I don't believe he does anything like that. He doesn't work with his hands. He's a decision maker. And I want Anthony Fauci held accountable. And anybody else that was involved in it. They're fucking liars. And they pushed that fucking shot and suppressed anybody that raised awareness about it, putting out there that it had such a high efficacy rate with nowhere near the required studies and trials that every other one is held to. But it was this bullshit emergency act that in Canada they ruled they shouldn't have done now, but that's in hindsight. But I said this stuff on my Instagram stories constantly and put it in my posts, and I constantly get misinformation. There was no time to know what this thing did to people. And after a booster, when I know somebody that gets multiple blood clots in their lungs, that fucking pisses me off when they have zero comorbidities, no chronic illnesses before this, and then all of a sudden a bunch of blood clots in their lungs after getting their first booster. I didn't want them to go get that fucking AstraZeneca in the beginning either, but because they're older, they were first up. They were the first guinea pigs. So I had to just hope that they get this shot and they're okay. And then when they get the blood clots, I'm like, fuck, I don't want to fucking I can't rub it in the person's face. I don't want to. I feel so fucking bad. I feel so angry that I have to leave social media because I can't even post anything because I was so fucking angry. And I don't want to be hard. I don't want to show, I don't even, talking to this person, it was so hard for me to talk to this person for quite a long time, because I was so angry and I didn't want to be a burden. I just wanted, I knew I wasn't a helpful person. I was fucking pissed. I'm fucking pissed still. But the person is down to one crystallized or mineralized. I can't think of which word it is. Clot left in their lung. And I don't want to say this person's name because they just want them to be left in peace and enjoy the rest of their life. But that's what I guess has driven me to even be fucking talking on camera. I hate talking on camera. If you ask anybody, I don't like talking on camera. I put out 7 years, 8 years, I don't know, so many years of workout videos and rarely ever talked on one, ever, in it, because I don't talk on video. But I am niggled by so many fucking things these past fucking years. COVID and that shit with the person I know fucking has driven me to hopefully bring awareness to people, to wake the fuck up. Because I watched a bunch of fucking sheep follow during COVID. 2 obvious scripts. But people are so fucking blind, head in the sand, want to believe that the government has your best interest in mind. Like, it's a fucking joke. But I feel like if I can just wake a couple people up to the bullshit, they won't fall for the next one. Watch Event 201. It's in October 2019. Watch a couple minutes of it. And you'll be like, what the fuck? Why are they talking about this in 2019 when COVID maybe, I guess, was made known in January-ish, maybe December, January-ish. They were running simulations for it in October. John Hopkins, Bill Gates, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So that's a big one. I need some kind of, there won't be a resolution. I need accountability. I need Anthony Fauci's legacy to be shown that he was a fucking liar and he spread garbage information and pushed something that has injured people. And it's fucking bullshit. I fucking hate pharmaceutical companies. Fucking bullshit. I'm gonna be covering tons of them. And we're gonna see who ran them, what kind of studies they've done along their way, what kind of payouts they've done along the way because of their products. Fuck, man. Okay. I need a full story on COVID. I need a full story on Jeffrey Epstein. I need a full story on Jeffrey Epstein. Again, Bill Gates. COVID. Bill Gates. Watch an interview with Bill Gates' ex-wife. Watch the interview with Bill Gates' ex-wife and what feelings Does it? Well, I'm curious what feelings it would leave you with if you watch it. I think you would be suspicious of Bill Gates. I think you would be suspicious. Watch Peter Thiel talk to Joe Rogan about Bill Gates. It's pretty interesting. Bill Gates is, I hear, trying to buy TikTok. That's bad. That's so bad. If Trump lets him fucking buy that thing, oh my god, that's crazy. Everyone should be pooling money together to stop that, to fund and buy it, because they should not let that guy have a fucking platform to the kids. Bill Gates is on a world tour out there fucking trying to eradicate viruses. Trying to eradicate polio. Guy's going and doing things around the world that I don't trust. He's investing in nuclear power though, and I believe that's the future. And if he's doing it, believe me, he ain't gonna invest that money and it's gonna become obsolete. So Jeffrey Epstein. See, I'm very sure they have videos in the Jeffrey Epstein case. And they got Diddy tapes. I'm not asking to see these tapes. Not even asking for them to blur their faces in the tapes. Can they transcript? Can somebody's got to watch these tapes. Can the person transcribe or give their synopsis? I don't know. I don't even know. Who would this be for? This would be for blind people, whatever you want to call that person, that explains for a blind person. Explain the Diddy tapes as if I was blind, and explain the Jeffrey Epstein tapes as if I was blind. And who's in it? Who's in all of them? And let's fucking charge those fucking people. Some billionaires have been caught. Peter Nygaard got caught. Some of these guys, the Magna guy got caught. Let's get some of them. Is Bill Clinton in there? Is Bill Clinton on any of these tapes? He got massages. Alan Dershowitz got massages. Bill Clinton, he had Monica Lewinsky hanging on his dick. I think she was like a 21-year-old intern. I was young then. I can remember it on the news. Then you read, like, this guy was sticking fucking cigar in her pussy. I'm pretty sure, was fingering another girl. He paid her $850,000 settlement. Like, Bill Clinton, while he was the president, he was a good politician. From what I gather, he was a good politician. I think that Stephen Harper guy for Canada, he was a good politician, but I think that they're pieces of shit. Like, the person, think they're pieces of shit. But they were good politicians, I guess. But Bill Clinton, yeah, he's a dirty motherfucker, and he was buddies with Jeffrey Epstein. Buddies. They were buds. He's got Jeffrey Epstein had that painting of him in a blue dress in his New York house, biggest house in New York at the time. Crazy. I think like 7 stories. I remember reading about it. This fucking place is gigantic. And who gave it to him? Les Wexner. This guy, scot-free. Crazy. Jeffrey Epstein was getting all these young girls, and Les Wexner owned Victoria's Secret. So seems like he was providing young girls for Jeffrey Epstein. He signed over his estate to Jeffrey Epstein, this billionaire that owned Victoria's Secret and I don't know, something else like Bed Bath & Beyond, or not looking to slander them or anything if it's not them, but Body Works, I don't know, some fucking maybe Bed Bath & Beyond or one of those fucking places. Soap places or something, I think. But yeah, and yeah, the guy with fucking Victoria's Secret, Jeffrey Epstein, young girls. But Les Wexner, that guy's in no trouble. Nobody's in trouble for apparently. What other are the okay? So yeah, the Martin Luther King. I want the whole story. Pretty sure I have a good idea, but I would like to know the backstory on the guy that killed him, because that guy's fucking wild. Guy was like an inmate that was able to flee the country. I gotta know more about that guy. Robert Kennedy Jr. This guy's the man. He went through his nomination hearing thing yesterday, and fuck, there's some real fucking cocksuckers on that fucking hearing panel. That fucking, some of those senators. What's this guy's name? His title. I heard it yesterday. He's a fucking jackass. Go look this fucking jackass up. I think Senator of Oregon, which makes a ton of fucking sense. This guy, what is he? I don't know. I live in Canada. I know a good amount of stuff, but about the states, but like ranking majority leader, something like that. Senator Wyden, I think like Wyden. This guy is a cocksucker, and he literally might suck cuck, but he's a jackass. This guy's a straight up jackass. Robert Kennedy was able to sit up there and take abuse from like some of the most, sorry mom, retarded fucking things being said. But he's the man. He's the man. And he deserves to know who killed his dad and his uncle. He doesn't believe that Sirhan Sirhan, who's still in jail, Palestinian man, killed his dad. He went into the jail and talked to him. And he came away saying, I don't believe he killed my dad. He wants to know who killed his uncle as well. There's a lot to that. A lot. And I'm going to say it. RFK is probably a mob hit. But the JFK one probably has the mob involved, but lots of other people. And the government might be involved in RFK's too. But I'm pretty sure the mob wanted him out of there. He was tough on crime. But JFK, so many people wanted him dead. So many people. Cubans, mob, Israel, CIA, FBI. Crazy. That many people. There's people from those areas that wanted them dead. It's a long explanation for some of them. JFK, RFK, MLK, Epstein, Diddy, Tupac, Biggie. So many things I don't know. So I know they went into Iraq, and I know they went into Afghanistan, but I don't. I have an idea why, and it's not to get Osama bin Laden. It's not to go get weapons of mass destruction out of Iraq. It's because Iraq didn't want to have anything to do with the United States anymore. Wanted to be able to sell their oil to Europe. And that wasn't part of the United States plan, so they went there and they stopped that. They carpet bombed them. And then they cut Nick Berg's head off. Because they were torturing Iraqis in what were Saddam's prisons. The United States turned that into prisons for Iraqi people. Lots of them were just citizens, and they tortured them. There's videos you can watch online of the Americans torturing Iraqi people, and they're readily available. It's harder to find Nick Berg getting his head cut off, but it's probably on the internet for sure. And they say, what you guys did in Abu Ghraib, in that prison, this is why we're cutting this American's head off, and they cut his head right off. It's pretty fucking crazy. And then, like 10 years later, they cut off, who did they cut off? They cut off James Nick Berg back in 2004. They went and bombed Iraq in 2003. 2004, cut Nick Berg's head off. 2014, 10 years later, pretty much, and they cut off James Foley's head. Threatened to cut off Steven Sotloff's head, and then cut his head off too, because Barack Obama continued George Bush's mission, and he just started drone striking the fuck out of Iraq. And so, yeah, 10 years later, they were still cutting heads off of Americans because they kept fucking blowing families up in Iraq. The death toll is a minimum million, and probably could be up to 3 million. Just fucking bombing the fuck out of them. And then having no plan afterwards for democracy. Yeah. They're trying to get the marriage age right now to 9 years old in Iraq. Good fucking job, America. Happy Canada supported that. But this all started because of 9/11. And let's get the whole unredacted story on 9/11. Because that ain't true. What the general public for some reason believes is not true. There's so much. I know it. Been following it for like 20 fucking years. 20 plus. Because I was pretty onto it pretty quickly, because it didn't make any sense that a bunch of Saudi Arabians flew planes into places in America, and the Osama bin Laden is from Saudi Arabia, hiding in Pakistan. So the Americans went into Iraq and Afghanistan. Why would they do that? That doesn't make any sense. But for some reason, people supported that. Supported something that made zero sense. That they went into Iraq and Afghanistan but blamed it on Saudi Arabian people. I think maybe one was from Qatar and maybe 2 from Yemen. None from Afghanistan, none from Iraq. No terrorists in the 9/11 event were from Iraq or Afghanistan. Yet 2 years later, they're fucking carpet bombing Iraq, and then 3 years later, they're going into Afghanistan. It didn't make any sense. And to watch the buildings fall, like, that's all. Everything is, there's so much unproven, but like right there, the basics don't make any sense. But for some reason, people just went along with it. Like, yeah, we're getting revenge. What, on who? You're fucking killing, you're making terrorist networks. Because when you blow up families, the surviving ones want revenge. Fucking idiots. Why is there Palestinians and fucking Israelis constantly fucking fighting? Because they keep getting fucking pissed at each other when they murder each other's families. It seems like basics. But the rich of the government don't care about the civilians. Pharmaceutical drugs and food companies are selling you poison and then putting a band-aid on it and making you lifelong pharmaceutical consumers. Everything is ultra processed fucking food. The majority. Everything cheap. To eat healthy is expensive. But you can get this cheap sugary food. And then when you have diabetes, you can be a lifelong pharmaceutical consumer. Make you sick, and then we sell you the cure. It's not even the cure. Oh man, there's so many lies. Back on the internet, like, yeah, it had live leak. You could watch these things. The internet was uncensored at a point. I don't recommend people go and watch these things, but we live at an interesting time. I feel fortunate the time I grew up in. Living the best time in history. I got to watch it all. That's why when COVID happened, it was too obvious it didn't make any sense. Did you watch Dallas Buyers Club? Dallas Buyers Club is a movie about Anthony Fauci. And the drugs, AZT, that they were pushing, the cancer drug that they pushed on AIDS patients at the beginning, was just killing them. Because I think whatever it was, I know that, and then there was another drug, they were just giving too much. They were just fucking killing these people. Arthur Ashe, like, they were killing these people fast. And it was very interesting in RFK Jr.'s hearings. He said something that was awesome. And he said he wants data that you can replicate. Because I heard there's so many things for me to look up. I'm constantly consuming information, writing notes. So there's so many things. And this is in there. I've heard, and not from him, but it was interesting that he said this, that I don't believe they've replicated DNA, that they can replicate DNA, the DNA strand that was figured out, I think, in the early 90s. So in the maybe late 80s or early 90s, probably late 80s they figured it out, but like late 90s they were using it for being able to solve a bunch of crimes. So they probably had it long before. But DNA. But I hear that they aren't. I swear I heard that they're not able to replicate it. What it looks like the strand. And then I heard they're not able to replicate the AIDS virus. Multiple doctors, when I was doing all the COVID research, that they can't replicate the AIDS virus. And RFK Jr. said in his hearing, he just wants scientific studies that can be replicated. And I thought that was fucking funny and awesome, because I think maybe there's more than just those couple I've heard. Because when they were working on in the fall, the summer, late summer, fall, I remember, because I was fucking paying attention, and they were talking about a vaccine, and I remember Russia was ahead, and I remember joking, oh, what if Russia comes out with it first? Would you take it? I remember joking with people, and they couldn't believe, I think. People were just head in the sand. They were just, a lot of people just weren't following. I watched. And, oh, fuck, what was I going to say? I remember. They were working on isolating the virus. That's what it is. Were they able to isolate the AIDS virus? I think that they haven't been able to isolate it. Please don't medical issue me. I'm not sure. Everyone look it up. I'm going to be looking it up. But were they going to be able to isolate the COVID virus? And apparently they did. Who fucking knows? They don't fucking give out any studies to show us. We should have the full fucking proof. And when I heard, I can remember it, because at that time they put out that Dope Sick fucking Netflix show. Watch that. If you watch Dope Sick, that mini-series with the Batman guy, I can't think of his name. Dope Sick is what it's called. Watch it and say, why the fuck would I? If you say I would trust a pharmaceutical company after watching that, you're insane. You're insane. And I don't believe you that you could watch that. Then go look it up. Then whatever tidbits you got out of there, the companies and stuff, go look them up. And then you still say, I trust the pharmaceutical company. I think that they have my health and safety as their best interest. You're fucking insane. And they're in it for profit. Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, every company that fucking applied, they're like, oh my God, I can make a ton of money. They're not like, oh my God, I can save anybody. Because they put out shots that didn't do what they said that they could do. They put them in people's arms, and they didn't do what they said what they said. You can go watch tons of your favorite fucking news people say, get it and it's going to stop the spread. Got all these people lined up outside in line to get a fucking shot, and it's supposed to stop the spread. And the people that don't get the shot, they're the danger, because they're going to spread it. And it turned out there was no studies that said that it can stop the spread, because they're fucking liars. Such a fucking joke. Nine 11. I think the United States knows. The United States knew. And it seemed like a lot of Saudi Arabians were involved. And I think that the Israeli government intelligence knew as well. I love my life. I like working out. Can't wait to work out tomorrow and the day after and the day after for a long time. I'm trying to live for a long time. And I'm not trying to end up like Jamal Khashoggi or Robert Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell's dead. So to both governments and agencies, I'm just spreading awareness on what you guys fucking do, because it's blatantly obvious to me. It seems like fucking so many people have had their fucking heads in the sand. I don't know if there's anything. I don't know how long this has been. I just want accountability. I just want accountability. Are we gonna get any? I don't know if we're gonna get any. But right now is our best hope. I have to have optimism. I'm not a fan that China is doing great with their AI. I assumed. If you listen to any past episodes, I've mentioned, I believe their technology is pretty fucking good. There's an interesting, like, fantasy land around us. Just entertainment. Everything's quick and convenient. Just like COVID. Keep the sheep distracted. It's fucking sad. The wolves are fucking laughing. Okay, what's tomorrow? Friday. If someone watches this, doesn't even matter if anybody watches this. But watch tomorrow, because tomorrow night, me and my brother are gonna go over UFC picks for Saturday, because the fights are on middle of the day for me. All right. If you watched this long, I appreciate it. Deuces.